What's up, guys? It's TSJ. Welcome back to another TSJ episode, and I'm joined here with Jessica,
Hello.
my girlfriend, and yep, she's a little nervous. First time.
I'm not nervous.
No, she's not nervous, no. But it's her face reveal, right? So, hope you're all excited. And this is our thoughts on the Joker movie. We just came back from New York Comic Con. We were exhausted. It was a really long weekend. But before we went to the convention, we were able to watch the Joker opening night. And we have a lot to say about it because I think we can both agree we love the movie.
It was a really good movie.
Yeah, it was awesome. And then I'll be doing a later video this week on my thoughts on Comic-Con, our first time ever going, and it was just awesome. But for right now, talking about the Joker, gonna give you guys our thoughts on it and then kind of talk about the controversy that's been surrounding it. If you know anything about the Joker movie, you know that the controversy's been about the movie, you know, that it kind of encourages some sort of violence from people who watch the movie. It kind of glorifies it in a sense, which we both kind of agreed. We didn't really agree with that. But we'll get to that. First off, we'll just start talking about our thoughts on the movie. Yeah, so I mean, I really like the movie a lot. Joaquin Phoenix did a great job as the Joker, and I'm really glad that they're just keeping it with like one movie. They're not making like a second one or a third one, because a lot of times if you do that, like setups and whatnot, it can kind of muddle the story. But I think they really did a good job of just containing his origin story and not making it too confusing. And this is gonna involve spoilers, by the way. Probably should have said that at first. I even told her, I was like, I'm gonna say that. So yeah, if you haven't seen the movie yet, you don't want to watch too much more of this. So the only thing during the movie I didn't really like at first was how they kind of made Joaquin Phoenix's Joker like the stepbrother to Batman. I didn't really know how I'd feel about that. But then, of course, later in the movie, you find out that his mother was just crazy, and she did ultimately adopt Arthur Fleck. You know, I liked how they did that, how you really found out that she was actually just crazy. So something else I liked about the movie also was his slow decline towards becoming the Joker. It wasn't just like a flip like that, it wasn't just a 180 complete transition to, you know, becoming the killing Joker. I mean, he did ultimately just kill someone and snap, but he didn't immediately just go off and start killing everyone that he saw. And even though he admits later in the movie that he liked doing it, he wasn't just crazy all like that. He still had faith in like his mother. He of course still, he had that love interest who wasn't really there with him. I forget her name. So she wasn't really there with him anyway. But I like how he thought all that. He was kind of comforting himself, and then of course when he found out he was adopted and he ended up killing his mother, that's pretty much when he was just off the deep end. Didn't care anymore. And then Murray at the end, that whole like interview scene when he came on the Murray show, I love that whole, he just, no more fucks were given. I thought that was great. But besides that, I mean, overall, the whole movie was great. The pacing of it, I like how it was very contained. So our dog is just going to be back there chilling every now and then, guys. Just letting you know, giving you a heads up. Jetty's in our videos every now and then. And he's a good boy. He misses us because, of course, he wasn't with us in New York. So try to focus on us and not the little dog. Anyway, so something I wanted to talk about quickly was that controversy behind it, because you kind of heard about how the movie's really, really violent. The movie does have its violent scenes in it, and I mean, it is pretty violent, but it's nowhere near as violent as, like, say, Deadpool, for example. Deadpool 1 or 2. Those are just the first superhero movies that come into my head. There are some somewhat disturbing scenes in it, but nothing too, this is going to sound kind of bad, but when he kills his first 3 men, I didn't think that was as disturbing as the scene where he empties out his entire fridge and then gets into the fridge. I was just like, what the hell is this guy doing? I don't know, it just weirded me out.
To me, it was, really disturbing.
When he killed those people?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Because, you were, rooting for him to not, and he was, battling in his mind.
You were rooting for him to not kill them?
Yeah. And, he was trying not to, and that's when he, broke out in the laughter. And then, as soon as, he did it, you, felt really, bad that it happened.
So that he ended up doing that.
Yeah, I was almost crying.
When he killed them? Oh.
Yeah.
See, I didn't even know that. We were so focused on the movie.
But that's why it shouldn't be a controversy, because the stuff like that happened, it still made you feel terrible.
Yeah, I mean,
just you felt bad for him too at the same time, but it's still terrible things that he did.
Yeah, you're not rooting for him by any means. You're not like, yeah, kill all these people.
Yeah, like I think that's why it's a controversy, because they're trying to say that like those scenes were like glorified, but they weren't. They were still horrible scenes.
Okay, so they weren't. Yeah, so they weren't like encouraging violence.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, they are not encouraging violence at all. They're just showing his decline into like inhumanity and insanity.
Yeah, it
Right.
wouldn't make anyone like want to be like him. If anything, it would make people want to prevent people like him happening, I think. It'd be like a good thing.
Yeah, definitely help. Yeah, on that point, talking about mental illness, one of my favorite quotes in the movie, which actually I didn't think about it until I read a YouTube comment on it, but it's saying, you know, when you have a mental illness, something like that, people expect you to act as if you don't have one. It's just like there's definitely like a mentality for people who have disabilities where it's kind of like people aren't necessarily mean to them all the time, like in, say, in the movie, as a majority. They're not a majority mean to them, but there's this like, oh my gosh, like, you know, I'm just going to ignore it and act like they're like me or every other person who does not have a disability, which that shouldn't really be the case. It shouldn't really be like that.
Right.
You know, I think they, like Jessica's saying, probably they need to get the help that they deserve and that they should get, because even in the movie, he is seeing a social worker and then that funding gets cut.
Yeah, and he doesn't actually end up doing like killing somebody until after he can't get his medication anymore because the funding has been cut.
Yeah, it definitely has like messages about real world issues. Like if you need your meds, you better get your meds. Not necessarily that if you don't get your meds, you're going to kill someone, because if that's the case, you probably should be in an institute of some sort. But still, you still see that decline. Kind of like what you were saying earlier. You feel bad for him throughout all this stuff, like him finding out he was adopted, his awful childhood, like how they found him tied up to a radiator.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's enough to make your stomach churn. And then the mom saying in that flashback scene, I always heard him laughing, I never heard him crying. Like, that's just, I mean, that's just her insanity right there. She didn't even realize how, you know, that all that stuff was going on with him.
Yeah, it was an amazing character study, like seeing his development, like from a person battling like mental illness, where he's trying to resist the bad thoughts and do the things he's supposed to
where he goes to
being completely crazy, and because nobody is supporting that.
Yeah, he even says it at the end. And again, as I said before, that ending Murray, like that talk show, that was honest. That segment there was like my favorite in the whole movie. That was my favorite because I just liked how he was like, he's the Joker now. He's going out there. He's telling the entire world in Gotham City, like, yeah, I enjoyed killing I mean, that's not good. I'm not glad that he said that, but he's explaining his thought process.
Mm-hmm.
This is why I killed those men. And also, Murray, you're a dick because, and Murray's like, what did I do? And he's like, well, you showed everybody that clip of me when I was failing. And that wasn't nice. He's essentially saying because people aren't nice, which again, you can't kill people because people aren't nice, so to speak. But like, look at what you've turned me into. And that's like classic Joker right there.
Yeah, I mean, I think the movie is like helping us to recognize things in people that may become this before it happens, like before the negative effects happen, like of killing people, murder, and things like that.
Yeah, you hear about that stuff. I mean, I know earlier the other day we were talking about that there was that shooting at the movie theater the night The Dark Knight Rises came out and where he was dressed up as the Joker. I mean, this movie is of course just fiction and it's a movie, however, it does mirror real life situations.
Yeah.
Of insanity, you know, and mental illness, absolutely. And it's, if anything, I think it's driving us to really work on it more, to try to stop that from happening, because that's ultimately what it is. If anybody does anything like that, like mass murder or something, there's definitely some sort of mental illness going on that I think the movie depicts really, really well.
I mean, I guess people could say that, like, if someone with the same type of mental illness were to watch it, it might trigger something. I mean, that could be. But I still don't see that. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, you could. I mean, there's like copycats, like, oh, they did a mass shooting, and if they did it, I could do it. Something like that. But generally speaking, yeah, I'd have to agree. I don't think it would actually, like, encourage anyone to do that. Because, again, at the end of the day, it's supposed to just be entertainment. And it was really good entertainment, too. I mean, I
think it's going to do more good than harm, for sure. Because it's going to help other people to recognize that, so...
bringing awareness to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, I thought you saw The Dark Knight with Heath Ledger, and I thought that was a really realistic take on the Joker and Batman and superheroes in general. But this entire movie, if you had like, you have to see it for its realism. Like even the whole his laugh, that is like that's Joker. People want to hear that laugh. Every Joker has their unique laugh. I personally still think Heath Ledger's that's my favorite Joker laugh. But what I love so much what they did in this movie is they made it be like it's a part of his mental.
Yeah, so he would laugh when, he was fighting the urge probably to lash out on somebody. So he would try to laugh to, like, keep himself from doing something bad. So then when that would come up later on after he didn't have his medication, after he was, like, finally had enough, he would laugh, but then he would end up killing someone after he laughed, so.
Yeah, did you notice he was laughing at the end, too, a lot?
Mm-hmm.
Did you think he was, or?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I thought I noticed it going down a little bit because he had accepted. He's like, I am who I am, and there were times when I thought he would laugh, especially on the Murray show, like when Murray's questioning him and everything like that. I expected him to laugh a lot more. But anyway, my point is, I liked how it was a part of his mental instability.
Mm-hmm.
He gets nervous, or before he does something awful, or when he's fighting back that rage to kill, he's just laughing, and you can tell Joaquin Phoenix, who's playing the Joker, is actually having a tough time because you see him in the movie like grab his chest. Like it actually hurts him to do it. And he did a great performance of him overall, I think,
Yeah. My favorite scene is at the end when he's dancing down the stairs because he finally feels like he has a purpose in life almost. So like he's headed to the Murray show after that where he intends to kill Murray. And, well, I don't even know if he really knows what he's going to do at that
I don't
point.
know either.
But he finally feels like he has a purpose by being a bad person in the world. And it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, no.
From a psychology perspective, it's crazy,
Yeah, definitely. I didn't personally see him killing Murray until right at the end when he said, hey, I have one more joke for you, knock, knock. And then, of course, I was like, he's probably going to pull out a gun and shoot him to make his final statement. But when he's dancing down the stairs, he's just finally accepted his Joker persona. Like you said, I am who I am, and I love it. He's like finally happy in life. He's not having... It's like he's still having those bad thoughts, but he's like happy about them now, somewhat.
Yeah. And it's almost sad, though, because you were rooting for him to not become that person throughout the movie. And then he did, and then you're like... You're happy for him, but you're sad for him. It's, like, pretty crazy. Like, that's why it's a good movie, because your, like, emotions are all over the place, so.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, it's an amazing movie. I mean, so ultimately what we're saying is go see it. Check out the movie when you can. It came out this past weekend. Go to your local theater. I think it's going to do great. I mean, I saw a bunch of people saying they really wish for, like, a sequel, but...
I don't know if I feel that way. Like, I think it's good by itself.
I think so, too. Like, there's no need for it to be in some DC, like, put it in there with Batman and Superman. It was cool, the little snippets they did. Like, remember at the end, Jessica didn't, like, remember when Bruce Wayne's parents were killed?
Mm-hmm.
And I was telling her, oh, yeah, well, that's ultimately how he'd become Batman. But I'm fine with them just keeping it like that. Putting in those little snippets here and there of comic book canon and whatnot. But besides that, I like it how it is.
Same.
So I hope you guys like this first. This is like obviously the first type of video that we've done for like kind of a movie review, if you will. Just our thoughts on it. Nothing too official or professional or anything like that. But I had to beg her to come on to the TSJ show. So let us know what you think down in the comments below. Again, let us know about your thoughts on the Joker. Everyone, thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe. Remember, stay super, and I'll see you guys next time.